always welcome. Today, gee, who am I taking a look at? Morbious, the living vampire. I have never been a huge fan of Morbious. I will confess that up front. But, yeah, you know, when he's in a collection, you keep him. I mean, why not? And, of course, last year, at this point last year, they had that 2-pack of Morbius and the 6-armed Spider-Man. Why, we don't know. It was practically the same figures, except they did a little bit of diaphragm cut on the 6-armed Spider-Man, which I was like, okay, why now? Why wait? But I could have threw him on creepies and beep beeps, and I just decided not to because it's nothing creepy about Morbius. Anyway, you know, decent head sculpt, just some face sculpt. He has a swappable cape. I didn't know that till I got him, and I took him out of the baggie. I was like, oh, it's a swappable cape, and then you could have him doing something more dynamic, like this. Arg, arg, arg! I am Morbius, the living vampire. Blah blah blah. That's the way I felt about him in the cartoon series. Blah blah blah. That's the way he sounded. I thought about that Doctor Strange pack with him. That was I did kind of like the animated look a little better, but I debated it for a while and I said, nah, I don't really want that. I just want, I already got this one. There's no reason to go to the well again. That's the kind of way I look at it. It's, you don't need to be grabbing everything under the sun just because it's kind of like, Morbius is not a favorite character of mine, so not getting him in what I thought was a better costume is not a killer to me. It's perfectly fine as it is. I don't require it. I really was in the camp before I bought this collection that, I don't really need this character. But here he is, and I really debated it and thought about it, and I was like, yeah, just keep him. There's no reason not to. He's not, I don't hate the character. I just don't like him. It's that simple. It's like, not my favorite, and never will be. But I would not say he was terrible. Get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's that kind of thing. And, it's not a bad figure either. It's not the greatest figure of all time, but it's not terrible. I had him in, what's that line called? Marvel Universe, but it wasn't in Marvel Universe, actually. It was in Marvel Infinite's, when he appeared there. And, he wasn't bad, he wasn't a bad figure. I wouldn't have bought him if he wasn't on sale when I saw him. I have to freely admit that, but, at the same time, he's not the worst in the world either. I've got plenty worse action figures. So, what do you do when a character is kind of like in your medium scale? And it's like, that's a tough decision because it's like, they sit on your medium scale for a reason. It's okay when it's something like a Build-A-Figure piece you want with that figure. You can semi-justify it. But, if it's a figure by itself, yeah, you run into a problem. And that can get, rough. And, this gets a little rough at times. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy, you shouldn't buy things that you're kind of borderline on. Just be careful about it, I think. If, you try doing that with everything, you can just about justify every freaking figure you got, and then, that's why I can't pay my bills and eat. So, again, it's a balancing act. You gotta think about, okay, what's important to me versus what's not. And, as I get into these more indie companies, that becomes even more apparent. Because it's like, I'm willing to spend a little bit more on these smaller companies than I am on the big companies. Part of that is I've got almost everything I want in Marvel. I mean, when you've got almost everything you want, what's the point? I'm not going to buy umpteenth versions of Spider-Man, but I have umpteenth versions of Spider-Man. And I'm a little bit on, you know, I've got plenty of Iron Mans. I don't see me buying another Iron Man. I won't say never, but you know. And then you're getting into individual characters. It's like, okay, I got the 3 looks of Wolverine. Actually got more than 3, but I got 3. I've got, you know, the looks of Cyclops I wanted. I've got all the looks of Storm I wanted. Yeah, you know, you run into, you know, where else do you go? I got more Doctor Dooms than I ever thought I ever wanted. You know, I got Secret Wars, both the classic Secret War and the modernized Secret War, and I got the regular version, so it's like, okay, where do you go from there? That's kind of amazing when I look at the Marvel Legends collection, and I'm like going, wow, I built this back from, I mean, I basically had maybe a dozen or so Marvel Legends, not counting my Iron Mans. Cap and Thor, a couple of Caps and Thors, my things, and a couple of random characters like Machine Man was one. You know, it was just like those niche characters that I was like going, ooh, I like that guy. You know, I always loved Machine Man, so you know when I saw him being out in the Marvel Legends, I had to grab him. You know, those niche characters that, you know, just appeal to me. Most likely. Most people are looking at Machine Man going, who the fuck is that? I'm looking at him going, that is an awesome character. I love him. You know, purple seems to have something to do with that, because like Sleepwalker, Machine Man, you know, I don't know. But at the same time, you know, Morbius should fit into that category, but somehow he doesn't. And I never really have a good explanation as to why. I just don't think he does. But he's not terrible at the same time. I think he's decent. You know? I mean, that's really what it amounts to. You just gotta decide what's decent to you. I mean, and like I said, I never liked the character, but I didn't hate the character. So that makes a huge difference in my mind. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that makes a huge difference. Because if I hated the character, then, you know, yeah, obviously I wouldn't have anything to do with him. But I don't hate the character. So yeah, there we are. I mean, boom. There it is. But, you know, Morbius, his movie sucked. That was one of the worst movies I ever saw. It has no redeeming qualities, but, you know, that's another point entirely. I'm just going to mention that because it was just so bad. Anyway, that wraps up my ramblings about Morbius the Living Vampire. Thank you for watching Infinite Realms. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff. You guys take care.